play our video. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. Whoa. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Woo. We are starting a very exciting episode because I have one of my favorite people in the industry with us, which is Kevin Nolan. If you have never met Kevin Nolan, you are in for such a treat. Now, for those of you who watch this show, you are used to it. You know what I'm about to say, which is get your butts over to YouTube, click on that live chat button, make yourself some friends, and click on the subscribe button. So let's get started. You guys like my new tech, by the way? I'm setting everything up. I'm trying to get tech savvy. Kevin, welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you.
Happy to be here. Thank you. Freight Friday.
You guys know that it took me a while to get you on the show.
I mean, I got to tell you, the timing of it, for us who are spot market junkies and Fridays being tough, we had a conversation about that, but I feel like I wish we were public right now because Echo, since Doug was on, has gone up about 70%. JB Hunt, since Shelly was on, has gone up about 40%. So, and we got a record day going at NTG. So
good.
You might be the lucky charm. So
I hope so. And I'm so excited. I love my Nolan Transportation people. I know they're watching. They usually are or trying to watch after hours, and my OTR people too.
MIG, don't hate on MIG.
I always forget. Today, you guys, I wanted to talk to Kevin. I wanted to bring him on because he's very special. He actually has a personality, and I love that. He has a very unique personality. And I also wanted to bring him on because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this show, and I want them to be inspired from Kevin because he has such a great story of how he started, how he's grown these companies, how he has great leaders running these companies, and there's a lot of stories behind it. Let me check YouTube real quick because I see Scott, Eric Serta's here, Rhonda's here, Steven, Jake. We have a lot of good folks over on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. So, Kevin, you don't know this, but
You're already scaring me.
I have a lot of new stuff for you today.
Oh, God.
Because you can handle it. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I called and texted a lot of people trying to find dirt on you. Good dirt, not bad dirt. There's good dirt. There is.
I got a lot of dirt. I'm not going to lie. Some, clean, like in a bag, nursery dirt, and some mud. So hopefully you stayed in the good dirt.
Well, I think I was asking the wrong people because if you ask around, you can find dirt on anybody. And most people were like, they would tell me some funny stuff. I'm just checking right now to make sure we're on LinkedIn. They would tell me funny stuff or whatnot, but nobody was like, oh, he's such a jerk, blah, 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 blah. And I was really looking for the dirt. But I can tell you that I got a lot
of people to like me. I want you to like me. That's, that's why we're such a sales organization. I work hard for all those people to like me. So I appreciate that.
Well, I hope you remember that because I have a small surprise. Okay. Lately.
Actually, I didn't tell you I scheduled something else.
No. You gotta stay. You gotta stay. Too many people are watching.
I'm out. It's Freight Friday. We got stuff going on. I'm out of here.
Too many people are watching. You have to stay.
All right.
LinkedIn, there's a lot of LinkedIn people. My LinkedIn friends, go over to YouTube because LinkedIn cuts in and out. I can already see that there are comments, like there are problems with the comments. They're being very spotty. I put that YouTube link right in the description for y'all. Go over to YouTube, make some friends. But before you do, or no, do it now before we start this. So I thought to myself, all right, I've got this wonderful personality who's going to be on this show. We're going to learn so much from him. He's my friend. And what I thought to myself was, I need something special for this show, something new, because I've been letting everybody off the hook lately. So
I'm seeing comments coming in. I think my new employee seminar, C.H. Robinson roommate is throwing stuff on here. I mean, this is amazing.
Oh my gosh, you have friends from your new employee seminar.
I mean, 20 years ago, new employee. Yep, 2 degrees, Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, I can already tell you are bringing the crowd with you. Okay, so here's the thing. For those, don't get mad, you guys. We have to keep it fresh on the show. So here's the thing, Kevin. I want you to pick. You get to pick your poison. We're going to play some games. And we're going to call this Truth or Dare. And you get to pick Truth or Dare. So which one will you game? Which one will you bear? Will you bear the truth or the dare?
I'm a risk taker. I'll take the dare.
You'll take the dare? Okay. Let me pick which one, because I have a whole bunch of them. Okay, I want you guys to see this. No, you can't peek, though, Kevin. Not you, the viewers. I want you to see that there's lots of notes on here, because I stopped for a long time on what I want these games to be. Like, evilly thought these out. All right, I'll turn down my music now. So here's your dare. You remember how I lied to you and said bring your cell phone because just in case there's tech problems, which everybody believes?
Yep.
So what I would like you to do is pull out your cell phone and show it to the audience.
All right.
Don't pull your work one out. Pull your normal one out.
I only have one cell phone.
Don't start deleting things either. What are you doing right now?
I got text. What do you need? What am I looking for here?
Okay, you got to show it to us so we can see it because I feel like you're cheating right now.
All right, there it is. We're here.
Okay.
This way.
All right. So here are the instructions.
There's
I want
my girls,
you.
My daughters.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Don't try to distract me though.
All right.
I want
Try to
you
make it nice.
to look for. I want you to open up your text messages, and the last voice message you sent to someone, not voicemail, like the voice message in text message. I want you to play that for us. And I want you to put it on speaker and turn it up nice and loud and put it near the microphone on your computer so we can hear it.
You know what? They disappear. That's what the thing about these voicemails is people have to keep them or you have to keep them. They disappear over time. But I know where you're talking about with the prank calls that I do to
you guys are seeing he's dancing around this. He knows what I'm doing right now. No, I'm just saying any message. What is the last message you sent to somebody via voice? Via text message?
I would say yesterday I sent one talking about a credit limit. So if you look here, so it says that they're saved by them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't pull them back up. So I did.
You can't re-listen to them?
I cannot.
All right, fine. Here, we're going to go on to the next dare then that I had, because I wondered if you would try to wiggle your way out of this dare.
I would play it. It's probably hysterical. I don't have it.
That's why I've gotten some funny ones from you. That's why I picked this. Fine. We'll start over.
All right. Sorry.
Your next dare. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. And for all of those people out there who are chuckling to themselves, many of you are going to be on this show. Your time will come. Okay, here's your next dare. I want you to rap for us. Do you have a rhyme?
Who did you talk to about the rapping usually is late night?
Oh, let's hear it, Kevin.
All right,
rap for us.
All right, it's Freight Friday. Moving 4,000 loads my way on the highway. Like Sinatra said, I did it my way. Cassandra's got you listening. Listen to what she said. All right, whatever.
I like it. Yay!
Listen,
all right, everybody.
I'm better late night. I'm better late night, but I cannot. Somebody is gonna get it. Whoever told you that? I'm guessing Andrew Silver. Maybe one of my I don't know who, but somebody's gonna get it.
I did do a lot of research. See, but this is the thing. We can have fun because you're actually unique. Okay. Sorry, your game is not over.
Oh, please. I thought we were going to talk about...
No, we're not over. No complaining.
I want to talk about my management team.
We got so much good stuff to talk about, you guys. But we have to give him a hard time because too many people love him. Too many people think he walks on water.
I mean, I got more lines now going in my head, so maybe we'll come back to the rap later at the end.
Okay. Truth or dare?
All right, I'm going truth now.
Now he's going with truth. Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
Yeah. The risk, so there's risk and reward in life, and the dare risk did not pay off there. That would have been a loser investment.
Oh, I really want to keep playing this because some of these dares are hilarious. Some of these dares are picking, oh man, they're so good. All right. One of these truths I had to change because you said your daughter is going to watch.
Yeah.
Who's a freshman at what school?
College of Charleston. We moved her in last weekend. Emotional day for sure. Plus, she had no elevator, 3rd floor, and she carried a ton of it. But yeah, she's a freshman. She's watching.
Well, we are happy to have you,
and she's
Nolan.
She's age appropriate for your content. So don't.
Oh, okay. Then I'll change around what I was going to say then.
And she's seen worse from me. Trust me.
Truth or dare? So,
Truth.
What is something you're glad that your mom doesn't know about you?
How long we got? We got 48 minutes left. I cannot believe this. Something that I'm glad well, I would say my rapping if she's going to watch this now, but now I would say that I'm glad.
She knows about your rapping.
I'm glad she doesn't see some of the emails that I send people at work. Lighten them up a little bit here and there. I'll go with that.
Because you'll get a, Kevin, I didn't raise you that way. And a smack on the back of the head. Yeah.
Or I'd say that I took her car many times before I was 16 years old. And I actually had a wig of hers that I would put on and wear so people would think I was her if they were driving by.
And they're like, man,
there you go, Mom.
She's been looking a little manly lately, her and that hair.
Yeah. But I was like 14 years old and I wanted to get a Big Mac or something, so I'd take the car.
Take the car?
Yeah.
I think I feel as though that is pretty consistent with that's pretty consistent with a lot of things that you've done, which is take a lot of risks, right? And that was one of the biggest reasons I want you on here, because you are somebody that took a lot of risks. And so while I switch over to my normal headset, because this thing here's what happens with this thing, you guys.
Leave the dispatcher on. It's the dispatcher. Hey there.
It gets in my way of drinking.
I've been waiting here for 4 hours, man. Can you get me empty? It's Friday. I got a game to get to. You told me to keep track of my time.
Oh my God. Oh my God. People are loving you right now. I can see this. Oh, somebody said that we're going to call this Confessions with Kevin.
Yeah, I see that. That's Brian Ritchie. So Brian and I went to college together, and he just got in the freight game recently. And so he's a Presbyterian college grad, baseball player there, good friend, successful home builder, now in the freight game. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like your entire family and all your friends are on this chat right now. I'm watching it. Somebody's named themselves Turtle Nick.
Oh man, that's my boy.
See, he's got all his friends on this show.
Yeah, oh, Nick. So Turtle's the man. So he actually looks just like Turtle from Entourage, like a spitting image.
I love Entourage.
Yep. And Nick couldn't sit still in the desk, so he kind of was, for 2-3 years. Got me to all my meetings on time, took notes, made sure he was the man. Now he's killing it. He does sports signatures. He's the man. Turtle. I can't believe Turtle's watching this.
Yeah, a couple people have said that they want you to drink and then they want you to rap again.
Yeah. Well, so when are you going to do your, your conference? So we're all in for it next industry conference. A lot
Yeah,
of
we are.
people know me from conferences, and it's not the way I live my life
Mm-hmm.
normally, right? And so now we're going to do these conferences, and we're all going to not be in shape. I mean, we need medics there. We need IV bags. This is going to be a showing at the
It
next.
really is.
Oh yeah.
And I thought to myself, because of course, I want to have a conference. And I was like, maybe I should just book the hotel, plan everything right away, and hope that there's a vaccine or something. Because that the second things start clearing up with COVID, everybody and their mother's going to be booking conferences, and everybody and their mother's going to want to go.
Yeah, sign me up. I'm ready.
Me too.
We finally started doing a little work travel. I was in Michigan a few weeks ago. It was sweet.
Yeah, it is a nice time to go to Michigan. You might as well get the cold areas out of the way. Okay. Here's the thing. I would like you to explain to everybody this whole rhino business, because it threw me off a little bit. But I kind of know you and I know all your friends, so I know what it's about. But could you please explain why you call yourself Chief Rhino?
Right.
And I didn't make one of the truth or dares was show us your tattoos, because I know you have one, I think.
I got one, yeah. Let me see if I can get it in
And
there.
hold on.
That's the NTG logo. There it is. That was a bet. So that's another one. I don't know if my mom has ever seen that before either.
Sorry, Mom.
So that's a bet that we had, that if we did a certain amount of revenue in one day at NTG, I'd get a tattoo. It took me a while to get. And then some of the senior brokers, VPs, started sending around an email that said fake news, Kevin got the tattoo. So then at a Nashville grand opening night, ended up getting it. Got a bet with OTR that if they hit a certain number, I'm gonna get the bridge on the right. So
how bad did it hurt though? Because that spot right there, ow.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. Or were you drunk?
Bad. I was in a good mood. I was happy. And
sorry, I'm pushing buttons over here because I'm laughing.
You're the worst. I mean, the Howard Stern of freight is getting me right now.
I can't. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? This is my show. I get to do what I want. Look, I can see it on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I just messed this all up. All right, hold on. I got one more for you because I thought this one up and I think this is so funny. And yeah, we're probably going to go over on time, everybody. But this is a good one. Hold on. Ready? We're going to do a dare for you. Oh, look at his face. I can't help it. One more dare, you guys, and then we'll get to Kevin's story. This has got a good one. I promise. Kevin didn't ask for a dare or for a truth.
I like that you just kind of jump into it. I was nervous, and then you just came straight, just bam.
Yeah, I know. I did it to Doug Wagner, so I thought I could do it to you too. He had it real bad. So remember how I told you to bring your cell phone?
Oh God, here we go. Yep.
So could you do me a favor? For this dare, you have no choice. And I already checked your connection a couple times before we did some testing, so don't try to lose connection. Don't text people and tell them anything. Just show us your phone again. If you could do me a favor, and if you could call Andrew Silver and put him on speaker. And don't text him. Don't text him.
I'm calling him right now.
And then, okay, so he's going to say, aren't you on the show with Cassandra? And I want you to say, no. I had a flare-up of my foot fungus, and it hurts so bad. What? He doesn't know I'm here.
Yo. What's up, dude? Oh, man, I bailed on Cassandra, dude.
What? I'm like watching you.
Oh, damn it.
You're like looking at your phone.
Oh, damn it. Hang up on him.
All right, you're watching. All right, she's got me doing stupid things. I'm on the spot. I want off. Just, if you want to fill in, come
Hi,
here.
Andrew.
Freight Prodigy. That's what he's in here.
Is that really what that says?
Yeah, it used to say Daddy Daycare.
Okay, I give up. My dares are... All right, so if anybody has good dares for me, next time Kevin's on the show, which will be, we'll invite him back like every freaking month now. Anybody has any good dares for me, message me and we'll do them. Okay, so now we're going to start. You're going to explain Rhino to us. I'm going to switch over to my normal headset because I can't drink with this thing on.
Yes, let's
And you're
talk
going to explain
about
rhino and
let's
Waffle House to everybody.
okay. All right. So rhino is the animal that we chose to be our mascot and logo. Why? Because in freight and transportation, the phone is so important. So the horn, thick skin. We're very, very sales oriented. We are very, very outbound call heavy. And so you got to have thick skin because people are not going to want to work with you. And then a group of rhinos is called a crash. And we've had some hella parties. And so a group of rhinos is called a crash. And then there's the rhino family of companies, which are OTR Capital, MIG, Payhawk, and all of those companies work with trucking companies and logistics companies as well. And so that's the Rhino fam. And, my logo, or not my logo, my title is Chief Rhino. And we have great management in all of those companies that run those businesses day to day, that are empowered and work the way they work. So, like, I'm Chief Rhino, AKA head cheerleader. Very involved in strategy, obviously, very involved in a lot of decisions. But, our management teams at all the companies kick ass. And then Waffle House, she wanted me to talk about while she switched her headphones. Waffle House, I had a non-compete, and while I was in my non-compete, I didn't want to burn the money that I had saved to start up the freight brokerage. So I went and worked at Waffle House, corporately based here in Atlanta. Some people I played football with in college worked there and said, come on. And so I managed stores. When my cooks wouldn't be there, I had to cook. When my waitresses or waiters weren't there, I had to serve. And my claim to fame, there are two things. One, you go to like a Waffle House university to learn. I was top waffle because the person who won failed their drug test. And so I came in second. So I was like runner up, but I like VP, like basically moved into president. And then I cooked $850 worth of breakfast one Friday by myself on the grill. That's a lot of eggs and bacon.
Damn, that is a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
Okay. So I messed up everything, like everything. Tech's all fucked up. Everything's messed up. So if anybody can't hear us anymore, that's why. Just so everybody knows. So I love that story because if anybody's doing a startup and they know they feel like they're scrapping and they're just barely making it by. I mean, the story.
My buddy John Bird was on there. Kevin made me an omelet one time and it was really good.
Was it really?
I'm sure. I was great. I could cook pretty well. I could. I mean, you have to, right? If you're going to cook that much, and it's paid off. I still can grill like still pretty good on a grill.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, everybody. I tried with the tech. I can't figure it out. It's typical Cassandra BS going on here. I think that I've never heard, and I always wanted Doug Wagner to send out an email to everybody and tell them that if they make their numbers, he'll get a tattoo, an Echo tattoo or something. I think everyone would like quadruple their numbers. Doug, I know you're listening. I think you should do that. I think that's a legit sales strategy. And you should say it on your next investor call of why your numbers did so well. It's appropriate for sure. We're solving problems today. So what do you think we should talk about next? Because look at my notes. I have like 100 million things to talk about. Oh, and by the way, one of the biggest things to talk about is the number of companies that you have founded and who all your leaders are. Because it's kind of confusing.
Okay.
I always think you run everything.
No, I mean, so great question. So I founded NTG first, 2005, was an agent for 2 years. And then we got our own MC number 07. From 07 to 2011, it was grind. I mean, there's a lot of brokers on here that I'm sure know those days. And it was, begging people to give you loads, begging people to take them, proving your credit worthiness, everything else. So from 2000 to 11, saw how powerful and how much factoring was needed. So started OTR. Through the life cycle of NTG, we've had events with private equity. We've had, presidents before, CEOs before. Currently, Jeff Kelly runs NTG. He's doing an incredible job. He started in January of 2020. We actually, at our board meeting, we all signed a ball and gave it to him and handed him the ball. I don't think he knew he was going to face a pandemic, all the craziness of 2020, the biggest ups and downs the freight market's ever seen. Yeah. So baptism by fire for Jeff. He's killing it. He's brought over a lot of great people. Brian Work, our new CIO, is doing a ton of technology. But our core group that's been there, Harris, Stephen McIsaac, Harris Rainbow, Stephen McIsaac, Perry, Ian Hess, Jennifer Hobnet. I mean, there's so many. I could go Steve. There's tons. We got a new CFO that just started the other day, Joanne.
You know, right?
Yeah, man. We're excited about her. So,
me too.
Yeah, I mean, she's got real chops, comes from, a very, very, very large company, and so excited about that. Then flip over to OTR. So OTR was like, okay, small trucking companies need to be paid faster than shippers can pay. We had a ton that were taking quick pay, but then we also saw, how factoring companies control some credit aspects and control a lot of trucks. And so I convinced my second cousin, Fritz Owens, to come down and concentrate and run that business. So my core group, the people that started with me, Chris Kegler, John Bird, all of us could focus on the freight game, and then Fritz would handle OTR. We had to run around and raise a lot of money because in factoring, cash is your hamburgers you're selling. So friends, family, mothers-in-laws, whoever we could get our hands on that had some capital, we would, take it and then push it out to carriers, wait to get paid. Finally got bank financing. From that, a lot of our truckers that we worked with said, hey, can you help us with insurance? So we were in Vegas, a whole group of us at Marquee Club, and I was like, we're starting an insurance company. We're naming it Marquee. And so we started MIG, and then Payhawk is the payments business. And
when you started the insurance company, can you hear me okay? Because I'm just kind of...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. When you started the insurance company, did you know much about insurance, or were you just like, we're gonna see how we do? We know what the deficiencies are. We know what we want.
I knew the service that carriers were getting was not great.
Yeah.
It was taking us a while with certs, that claims could be a real headache, which would keep time away from brokers being able to make calls. I mean, there was just a lot. And I knew the cash aspect of it for truckers is so high. If we could help them anyway with some premium finance, anything we could do to kind of make the trucker's life easier, because they don't get a ton of service. They just don't. And, as a broker that's up and coming, you'd love to be able to give them all the loads you can, but you don't have really enough to offer them. So while we have their attention, we wanted to sell them some things. I did just get a funny ass message on here from Finney, one of our guys in the insurance business, said it's all about that neck. And so one of the things we talk about is you got to care, like you feel it and you get that shit in your neck,
Really? That's funny.
He said I don't know why I'm going there with this, but he told this story at a dinner we had, and he was talking about an old football coach, and the football coach would say, when you care, when you feel it in your neck. And so that's one of the things that we say. That's
interesting. Now I got to think about it. And now next time I'm like really going to care about something, I'm going to be like, oh my God. You have a lot of people. You have Justin McAfee, who says top waffle in all caps. I feel like we're actually at Kevin Nolan's conference, but live right now with all his friends. Jason Chandler says Vegas, love it. Justin says, what will a new CEO's nickname going to be? Angry Rhino. Don't know. So it says, can you ask one thing Chief Rhino would have done differently along his journey? Is there a single event that sticks out? And that question is so good. It's from one of my favorite people, Chris Jolly, who we call the freight coach, because a lot of people hire him.
Yeah, I know Chris.
I know.
Chris. I like
Great
Chris.
job. So he wanted to know, what was the one thing that you would have done differently along your way, along your journey?
The fact I have to think about it.
I know, that's pretty good. I can name like 20 things off the top of my head. I mean, this is why you're successful.
I would say I wasn't prepared for the stress that being an entrepreneur causes, how it changes you when you have a bad day in terms of family, in terms of how you handle your stress properly. I would say that's one thing I wish that I would have known, that when I made the decisions to start companies, or I made the decisions, like, oh my God, like, I don't usually, choose the greatest outlets sometimes in my past. And so I wish that I would have known, going in, how much wear and tear not only does it put on you, but it puts on everyone around you, right? I mean, that's the thing. That's why I love your show and your community and your network. And when I go to these conferences, I let my hair down, is because it's like a safe place. Like, people that are on this at least understand what the hell we go through day in and day out, versus somebody that you see at a holiday party or something else like that. I mean, this is a roller coaster. This is a roller coaster business, and so I wish I would have been more prepared for that.
Does it get easier as you grow and you hit your milestones?
Yeah, well, it's easier now for me. I mean, like, now for sure. But that beginning journey of raising capital, going through private equity deals, going through all that stuff, there's a lot, and there's a lot of people that can help, but you don't know that, right? You don't know how to find a good investment banker. You don't know how to find, a good bank finance. All that stuff, you gotta weave through the rocks and everything to find while you're running a business. So, I knew that I was going to be all in, get that in your neck feeling, but, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun as hell. I mean, I wouldn't change it.
Down, this I found interesting when I was doing, I'll tell you that I have never, and to those of you who are going to be on my show, Kevin is unique. I have never reached out to all guest friends and tried to find unique stories about them. But I wanted everybody in Metropolis to realize how special Kevin is, and not to embarrass Kevin. One person, though, actually, it was Grace. She, for some of you in Metropolis, you guys remember, she helped us through the factoring show we had, and she was quite brilliant. She's an amazing woman. But she told me an interesting story. It was off the cuff, but she said when you first started Nolan Transportation, I think, and I apologize if I get this wrong, there was somebody who went to high school that was that went into the military, and I think went to Iraq or something.
Yeah,
Bobby. You said to that person, when you come back, I'm going to grow this company. I'm going to have a job for you waiting.
Yeah. So Bobby got stop lost, I think two, maybe three times. And I've known Bobby a long time. We actually middle school friends, and knew how hard he worked. Went to the military, and when he'd come back I'd tell him about how we were growing and what we were doing, how we needed him and wanted him. And it took about 3 years longer, but we kept the job for him, and he's done great things. He's one of our national sales directors, and goes to look. Bobby's the man. Yeah, I mean, it was a safe bet to hold that job for him, because I knew his skill set, and I knew that he was going to help. But Grace, yeah, it's funny. Grace brought that up.
Yeah, I love that story, and I think, excuse me, I think as entrepreneurs, we're always trying, we want to do really well. We want to grow our business, and we want to help out our family and friends. The fact that you actually got to do that is so impressive. But I think there's also a balance.
I've got tons of guys from my high school days that work with us. Damon Volgerding runs our LTL. Harold Barron was our former president and CEO. I mean, he helped me grow the business like crazy. Friends with him since third grade. Chris Evell went to high school. He's one of our best salespeople at OTR. I've had lots of friends that have asked for jobs that didn't get jobs, but the ones that I knew were
everybody's gonna be messaging you now.
the ones that I would study with, right? Those are the ones
Yeah.
that I want to give the job to.
I'm gonna write into YouTube right now. I'm pretty sure we're talking to the prom king of freight.
No, class clown.
No, I don't think so. So tell me, what are the downsides of hiring friends and family, if you ever have? Because I'm gonna without naming names. I know some companies that they started out and they were growing, but they had almost all their family working in the company, and then they would hit like a $500 million mark of revenue a year, and things would start crashing. And a lot of it was because they had all their family members working, and it just was inefficient. And disaster.
I mean, we demand numbers and excellent, and our roster continues to improve all the time. And the majority of the people that were family members or good friends or people that were in the beginning, they understand that somebody can come in and they might be above them, but it's because they have a skill set or they've seen and know what we're trying to get to. So it's tough. It's tough because a lot of times at family events or dinners or birthdays or whatever else, work is the conversation over and over and over and over again. But when you start a business, you want to work with people you like and trust. And again, you don't just give someone a job because they are family. You give them a job because you need them and they want to work with you and they're going to do a good job. And if that's why you hired them, it should all work out. And then communication on when they're doing something wrong, you have to hold them as accountable as you do everyone else. And that's hard. There are times when, I wish that I would have laid those ground rules down earlier.
Yeah, I think that some people still haven't figured it out. For those of you who are having issues
Wait, hang on. Who asked this question? What's the biggest gambling bet you have ever placed?
Ooh. Do you gamble, Kevin?
Yeah, I do.
So what is the biggest gambling bet? I wonder who Bat 700 is. That's totally got to be one of your friends.
Yeah, or they just created the account to ask it.
Which I love that person. Keep doing that. That's funny. But you should have been more original on the name.
What do you mean, on the bat?
Yeah, Bat 700. I mean, if you're gonna create a name, it's got to be something good, like I don't know, something unique, like butter bread or beaten up trucker, something good.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so what's the answer?
Probably 50,000 on a game.
Did you win?
No, probably not. Maybe
Nah.
more. I don't know. I mean, look, it was at a time when I was up big. We were we've done some events at casinos. Obviously, you can get customers and you can get brokers and a lot of people to come. We had a hell of a run in Biloxi, and I took the winnings and tried to double it, and it didn't work. So
Bummer. That would have been a great story if it did. So Brian Parker is one of my favorite people. He said, must be someone's burner account. Watch out, it might be your wife.
Oh, man.
That is fantastic. Okay, so hold on, guys, because I had a ton of I was so excited about this show that I made even circles on my notes because I wanted to remember certain things to ask you. One of the most important questions to ask you is, how many golf balls have you put through windows?
So
and why?
We hit full 7-iron sometimes in the office back in the day. I mean, we can't do that stuff anymore. But, I mean, we used to also play a game on, who was going to buy lunch if the last person to throw a football into a dumpster or trash can. One time in Charleston, we had a bet. There was a guy, if he could make it all the way across the whole office without touching the floor, he got $1,000. And he was like a long jumper or something. And
because I was thinking you could ride office chairs. Or what did you mean by?
Well, I don't think he could have got enough momentum to make it all the way across.
But then he could go desk to office.
No, that's what he did. He was desk hopping.
Yeah. I
All
would.
these things we don't do anymore. I mean,
Oh.
we don't do these things. But yeah, we used to hit golf balls. We had a doorway and we would open it, and like in Tin Cup or some of these crazy movies where you punch golf balls through doors. I probably broke 3 office windows with golf balls.
Does your mom know?
She does now. She does.
Did someone shoot fireworks in the office?
I did, yes, in Fritz's office, and shut the door. Somebody's got a great video. Somebody's got a video.
Hilarious. Oh my God, you guys, whoever's on YouTube right now, I love you all because this is great. Keep feeding me more questions. This is way more fun than what I had planned. So, okay, tell me what. Well, first of all, what do people not know about Nolan Transportation Group? Like, is it brokerage? Is it like a traditional one? Like, what makes it unique?
Oh, it's changed. It's a great. I mean, so the business has changed so much, and you asked me about being an entrepreneur and starting companies. I mean, I look at companies as entities that start and transform. So NTG started off as a broker that was cradle to grave. Over time, we were obviously very heavy spot. We still are. And over time, we've moved more into enterprise, larger customers, larger stuff. So, we did an awesome merger acquisition in January. We bought Eagle out of Mississippi, which added us refrigerated. Tori and Brad there I had known for a long time. The coolest thing was when we went to visit that company during diligence, everyone cared, and it was like you could feel it, and it was just so we did our first acquisition. It was incredible. They're in our system now. We have our own proprietary software. We're gonna build another one. We do a lot of the things that a lot of the digital or up and coming startup brokers do, but we do about $1.2 billion in revenue on the freight brokerage side. In the beginning, we were not as carrier centric as we are now. And again, a lot of that has to do with when you start up, capital needs. We are backed by Griffin, which is one of the best and largest private equity groups in the transportation space. So we've got tons of capital to continue to grow, continue to hire, and we want to be a top 5 freight broker. I mean, that was the goal from when I started the company, and it's what we're going to be.
For anybody who has additional questions and they don't, and they're kind of losing their questions on YouTube, make sure you can find Amanda Miller, my favorite freight broker out of Alabama, and she will feed questions directly to me. I have a couple questions coming through. I want to read these to you because they're really good. All right. Matt Fink is a longtime Mad Travelers citizen and one of my favorite people. He said, if you could change freight brokerage right now, what would you change? I do feel like we have yearbook questions for you. Like, I feel like we're in high school again.
All right. The one thing about freight brokerage I would change, it'd be nice. I mean, I know everyone tries to formulate this and to try to make it happen, but I'd make the bond. I would change the bond. I would change the bond stuff, right? A new freight brokerage should not have the same bond that I have, right? We're gonna move 5,000 loads today. Somebody moving 4 loads should not have the same requirements that I have.
Let me think about that for a minute, because sometimes I argue that both carriers and brokers need to have there needs to be higher barriers to entry in our industry, because we do have a big bottom feeder problem. And not bottom feeder as in like, we're so small, we're trying to grow. No, bottom feeder as in that mentality of that I'm going to F over anyone and everyone just to make a buck really quick. And I don't care if I go out of business and who I burn on the way. So sometimes I go back and forth. I'm like, I think maybe we should have more barriers to entry for both carriers, drivers, and brokers. But what do you think about that? Am I just being a lawyer?
No, I mean, look, the visibility, and it's one of the things that makes, freight brokers successful in this competitive landscape is you have more capital, you're going to grow faster because you can pay your carriers faster, you can hire faster, all these other things. But there's no visibility into that. And so shippers are getting a lot smarter, and they're hiring people from the logistics industry to go in versus back in the day when you would have, transportation kind of looked as an afterthought. Now it's cool to be in logistics. It's cool to be in freight, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, it is.
But you still have to dig for the visibility on financial stability of a broker, financial stability of a carrier. You don't know. Some guy might have 5 trucks.
Yeah.
Backed by the best collision company in Atlanta or whatever else, and it's a side business, but it's backed by somebody with a ton. Just so I would say the visibility on financial being able to be seen, because you don't really know. I mean, but it does create a lot of competition and a lot of.
I love that argument. You're saying that let's not mess. I think what you're saying is let's not mess around with the barriers, raising or increasing the laws or the barrier to entry. But instead, let's have more data and more research available to shippers, brokers, and carriers, all three, because it is even hard to vet carriers. I mean, there's some platforms out there that, you don't even know what the heck the information even says. Like, the Carrier 411 hasn't changed in 15 years. It's like you have to be a data scientist to even know what the fuck that entire page says. So I can completely understand.
Now it gives you see this whole,
I think safety is probably better, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
The mess that's out there of how fragmented it is, how many truckers there is, creates opportunity and makes you better if you can, go through all that information and everything else. But truckers in the spot market, they take loads a lot of times from brokers they probably shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Brokers definitely give loads to truckers in tight markets that they definitely shouldn't. But it's available, it's there, they called in, and so, I would just say the vetting of both brokers as well as carriers, if there was just more visibility into their actual business performance.
Would you change anything about the FMCSA or the regulations, or if you had a magic wand and you were running the FMCSA and you could do anything you wanted, would there be anything you change?
I don't really know what regulations I would change, but I would, again, think that a broker of our size, for a risk standpoint or to continue to grow, should have some kind of bond that might be hired for the carriers. So if something happens, just the risk on the carrier, the carriers can exhaust a bond on my bond on Monday at 9 a.m., right? I mean, it's gone.
That's a good point.
Right? It's so, I don't even know if that, I would maybe even just get rid of the bond. I don't know.
Someone else, these questions are coming, they're coming in hot. And thank you to Amanda Miller for this, by the way. This is a great question. So you've been in the industry for 20 years now, right?
Yes.
I've been in for 10. So, and it's changed so much over the past 10 years, over the past 20 years, I'm sure it's changed a lot. What are you seeing now with freight brokerages that are either good, annoying, what's different now compared to when you first entered into the market, compared to the 10-point mark? What are you seeing, and what are the things that you chuckling at, kind of? Convoy just released a couple things, and I was scratching my head a bit on some features.
That was in Jeff didn't hold back.
Yeah. Wait, but I get to hold on, let me find my message that I texted someone. And for those of you who are what are they talking about? It says, Convoy offers program to cut out RFP process, guarantee capacity for shippers.
Yeah, that's called spot. That's called spot.
Jeff
That's called spot market.
Jeff Silver makes a comment and he says, joke, period. Not difficult to do this if you can lose 30% gross margins to the detriment of your investors.
I don't know why he gave that to say. Look, the Convoy's done an incredible job of raising money, which is very tough, which I've done for businesses. Now, all that money they've raised, obviously, I'm sure their technology and what they're doing is great. But it's just not a world that we live in, right? We make money and we grow. And at a certain point, investors want a payback at certain points. So, the fact that they've been able to raise as much money as they have, again, with some other companies, at a certain point, investors are going to want to see profitability and some return, right? And I'm interested to see when that happens. I do like the valuations that these people do talk about or throw around, because we're doing it the right way and we're growing, and so it only shows well for us. I do laugh a lot about, it's just so different, right? And I always talked about it, though. It'd be really cool when you're a broker, when you come in, to sit down and have something like the brokers had in Wall Street, like Bloomberg or the old Journal, and be able to look through it. So FreightWaves has done a really cool job with that.
Yeah.
I think what Convoy's talking about is you're going to see less contract freight over time, because there's going to be more information to the smarter shippers on what the market really is. And if you're paying market rates and you can prove that, why would you do contract as long as the service is there? And so
I remember one of my favorite shippers on the show, or a couple of them actually, told me that, because I asked that same question, I was thinking something very similar, obviously not as smart as you, but just dumb lawyer language. But I remember one said, well, if I try to anticipate where the rates are going to be high and the rates are going to be low, and then my contract rate I require year round so that I come out on top, if that makes sense. Have you heard that before? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're getting, more and more information and more data on how we quote and how we win business. But historically, we've always kind of won business in the oh crap moment. Now we're getting in with the big shippers. We have enough lane density. We have, carrier sales. We just built about 2 years ago, and we built it from scratch. We took a lot of our principles on the sales side and put it in. And now we're getting better and better and better. So we'll get better at contract rates. But I don't see a point, though, when contract rates are going to be the standard, because of the fact, like Sonar, DATS, historical rate data, Internet Truck Stop, more and more pricing engines come out. Why sign the contract that somebody's going to get screwed, right?
Yeah, and it's usually the broker.
Yeah, and
you may have got a contract rate year round for the shipper, but as soon as the rates dip, the shippers are going to be like, oh no, I want the low rates. I'm going to take this freight back and throw it out on the spot. I don't really care about that contract we have. I can say it, but other people can't. Someone says Uber's the same way. Why be profitable when spending other folks' money? Prepackaged bankruptcy on the horizon for both. Wow. And another person says freight budgets are the reason for contract rates. Smart shippers will balance contract, spot, auction, etc. Need balanced approach as a shipper, as a carrier, as a broker. Interesting.
That makes sense. They have to have a budget, right? They can't just say we're going to spend whatever the market's. I understand the budget aspect, but they definitely pay a lot more attention now. The smarter shipper knows that the spot market, where 10 years ago there was no information.
You're blind.
And if you were on the right side of a contract, you had big bangers that you were making on loads, right? And now there's less of that, which I think is good. Which I think you'll have more of a standard margin per load, kind of across the industry.
Do you have agents?
No.
Someone said, what do you think of the agent model? Why is it so popular?
So I like the agent model, but I don't like the fact that the agent doesn't usually get enough resources, right? Broker and freight is a tiring, long, hard job. And so the more resources you can give the broker to sell, right? AI carrier sales, our carrier compliance, all this stuff, if you can give more of that to the broker and allow, now an agent doesn't really get that because they're getting, a huge spread, and they don't get the support. They have to pay their rent. They have to pay their phones. They have to pay for all of these things. And so again, startup costs grow, so I like the best of both worlds. I like a good salary plus a good commission plan with it. I think that makes the most sense. You want to have a broker eat what they kill, either on the carrier side or the sales side, have unlimited revenue that they can generate and make. But the agent model, it's tough for them to have centralized support. It's tough for them to not kind of be lone, but there are some really successful agent models out there. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're going to have to go back through, you probably already saw this, but you're going to have to go through the comments after the show. And just so you know, it takes the live comments show up now. On YouTube, it takes 12 hours. So you have to wait till tomorrow morning for the live comments to show up again for post-production. You're going to have to go through because a lot of your employees are saying hi to you. You had somebody I missed. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. You had somebody from accounting. And your show is watching this show. His name is Jamal, I think I saw. And he said hi. And it's like,
nice. He's in the founder's office up in.
How cool is that, man? Your accounting people are plugging you. This is definitely a first to have such a.
We need to have another dollar lotto. I mean, the accounting group loves that. So on Fridays, we put dollars in a trash can, write the names on them. Whoever wins gets all of them, and I'll usually grease the pot pretty good. So we'll get another dollar lotto going next week for sure.
That is very creative. I love that. Is there drinking involved in this lotto?
There's not, Cassandra. There's no drinking.
You guys are missing out, man. Okay, so you're like, people need to do their jobs and make money.
No, look, our offices are very responsible, and the management handles it the right way. So, they have it under control.
Someone messaged. All right. Someone is begging for their question to be answered. So I don't even know what this question is going to say, but we're going to find out. Okay. What advice would you give a person who wanted to start a freight brokerage business after 25 years in OTR trucking? Would you start the freight brokerage business, or would you stay in trucking?
If I had, so we don't own any assets, but if I had an asset-based arm, I would definitely consider a brokerage, because you fight the number one objection immediately on, do you have assets, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a tough thing to overcome when a shipping manager is like, oh, we're only signing up more asset-based carriers. So, I would definitely look at it. I would keep the books separate. I would have them as two separate companies. I would not start intertwining them, because if you want to unwind one of them and get out of the other one, you're stuck. So I would not have them on the same balance sheet.
Good advice. You know what really baffles me, and I've said this before, and for my shippers who are watching the show, you're welcome to put your comments in the feed, but so shippers will often say,
are you there?
Yeah. Oh, did I cut out?
I think it just glitched for a sec, but it's back now.
This is just how tech is working. This is not my day for technology.
So Andrew Perillo, who's one
I know
of the
Andrew.
best, collections machine.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Right? he's like 99% of the reason why we started Payhawk. So we started Payhawk because it's a credit card company that basically, when people don't want to pay freight bills, when they're like, "Oh, I'll mail you a check or ACH it," now we're just like, "Oh, we got a credit card machine in here. Let's swipe it or give us the number." But yeah, he said our last dollar lotto pot was $3,000. Somebody took home.
Whoa!
All in ones.
I would stick with the ones too. So I'd walk around and I'd feel like I had more money all the time. And everyone would think I'd have more money too. Old school trick, I guess. Someone asks, do you outsource any of your work, back end, entry level stuff? We've started to do this and found it most cost effective, but other companies have tried to do it and it's backfired on them. What's your advice? You're getting a lot of intense questions today.
Hey, I mean, you started it, right, with your truth or dare. Yeah, we do. We outsource. We use who's been on your show before, Dave Bell and Lean Tech.
Yes, I love them.
Lean Staffing, Lean Tech, the whole group. They've helped us a lot. I wasn't really like, I wasn't sure at first, right, because it's Columbia. But I went down there, and everyone that we hire there and everyone who works there, we'd hire in the States, and they work hard, and they're on the same time zone, and so that's been good for outsourcing. It also allows us to do nights and weekends. Those are tough jobs to hire for here in the States, and so it's helped us with tracking and tracing and other stuff. Not customer or carrier really. Some mostly carrier facing. On the insurance business, we guarantee we're going to get our certs out within 5 minutes of request, so a broker can set up a carrier super fast and they don't lose the load. So we do all that down there, and they hammer it out.
You're building a little Nolan empire. Does it feel overwhelming?
I got 3 daughters. I got a lot of weddings and colleges and
to pay for?
Yeah.
Your daughter's in Charleston right now, and she's like, "Yeah, Dad, I gotta buy textbooks soon," which probably costs like $4,000, some shit like that these days.
They don't even open it. It's all online. It's all, with the textbooks. I remember trading my textbooks in at the end of the semester, and that was your beach week money.
Yeah, it was, because you get that money and you're like, God, it's like a ROI on these things. So one more thing that I selfishly wanted to talk about is, you mentioned earlier, you had said when you're an entrepreneur, it is hard to know who are the best private equity companies, who are the best banks. You kind of have to learn trial and error. And then you mentioned a private equity group that you thought were really good. For those folks out there who I do get a lot of emails from, folks who are thinking about talking to private equity firms and VC firms like Justin Hall, who we've had on here.
Yeah.
So what are the traps? What are the mistakes that some people make? What's a characteristic of a private equity company or VC company that you learned over the years that are good or bad?
Well, once you decide that you're going to, bring in an investor and have somebody work with you, you want to make sure that you're aligned, right? Because yes, you might be able to take some chips off the table, and yes, it'll be good for a short period of time with, some cash you might get, but then you guys have to work together.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really important to talk to and get to know. So, Paul Thompson, who runs Transportation Insight, he's a mentor of mine, and he had done private equity with a company called Ridgemont out of Charlotte. I got my feet wet after meeting him and talking to him, and we did a minority deal with them. And then he went to Griffin, and we went to Griffin as well. So I trust explicitly, obviously. So for me, it was like, again, I came in the industry at a really cool time, because there's all those, godfathers, the American Backhauler group with Paul and Jeff that were mentors, and Paul Thompson and all those people. Then I've seen the old up and comers, right? Like Andrew and Matt and these guys that I'm good friends with. And so I'm kind of in the middle. So I've been fortunate to be able to ask some of the older people that were around before me some of the things. And there's conferences, right? You know, you can go to these conferences and there'll be private equity company people there. There'll be bankers. There'll be people that you can talk to and work with. But what you got to realize is it's going to take a lot of time, energy, and mind share. And having a good banker help you is they'll weed through what's real and not real. Mm-hmm. There are some private equity companies out there that like to just chew on things and never really bite and learn about your business. And so, you know, a good banker will help you see what's real and not real.
That's good advice. Did I miss anything that you wanted to talk about today? I feel like you have, you've not only had pranks played on you, you've had every single friend for the last 20 years show up on YouTube and say hi to you and all your employees. Someone says Lakers or Nuggets tonight. Pick.
Nuggets.
Nuggets. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be spending the rest of probably all tomorrow morning going through all these. What's your cigar of choice? Someone says.
A Swisher Sweet. I'm not a big cigar guy. I do like a good cigarette every now and then. I like a Parliament.
Oh, the good old Parliaments.
The old P-Funk.
In New York, oh, never mind. I won't tell that story. It's probably not appropriate for. Even that's appropriate.
I think we should hear it. All the crap that you put on, I think we should hear the New York story.
No, it's not my story. I was just saying, it's okay. It's just weird, right? I used to work for Philip Morris before I went to law school, right after I graduated from college. And it was I learned sales, hardcore sales, street New York City. I was selling all sorts of stuff. Anyhow, so yeah, I was kind of selling cigarettes. But it's interesting because in New York, the parliaments, New York City is very, as you know, very diverse. Each section of the city, based on the ethnicity, smokes a certain type of cigarette.
Newport somewhere.
Yes, Newport's for our Puerto Ricans. We're
smoking good. Smoking them Newports. Smoking good.
And the Marlboro Reds for the white guys. So Marlboro Reds didn't do well in New York City anywhere.
They don't do well anywhere.
Right? They do well in the hardcore Midwest. They'll do very well. Marlboro Reds, the cowboy land. They really did a good job of that branding. But parliaments, interestingly enough, I realized that it was Asians loved parliaments, and so did a lot of very young stockbrokers, investment bankers, and it's because the recessed filter, they used to use that to tap Coke into and blow a line. And in New York, that was very commonly known. And then when I left New York, I realized no one fucking knew that. So every time somebody says parliament, I'm like, oh yeah, the Coke blowing cigarette. Not saying you're doing that. You would never.
So I like them because I can bite down on them. So when you play, so the recessed filter was actually created because fighter pilots would smoke them in the World War II or whatever else they created. Because when you smoke the other filter and it gets all wet and you bite it down, it ruins it. So that recessed filter allows you to just kind of hold it in your teeth while you're hitting a golf shot or you're doing whatever. So the recessed filter has other reasons.
I never knew that. I told you, every fucker in New York City thinks that recessed filter was made for Coke.
No, I mean the drug addict is a sharp mind that figures out how to use things, but no, that is not why the P-Funk was.
Oh my God. Okay, so Amanda Miller says you're right, Kevin, which I never said he wasn't right. I'm just saying I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was not created. Listen, Cokeheads are not creating a cigarette brand that good, right? If they are, let them create some more stuff.
All right. We love you. I hope you come back and bring all your friends. Your friends are quite characters. Even Nolan Transportation says Lakers. That goes without saying. This is Lee Wasserman. I mean, all your employees are on here, so great job.
He loves the Lakers. When the Lakers come to town, Lee gets the tickets, the company tickets. He makes sure of that. So he's a Lakers fan.
This is definitely going to go down as one of my favorite episodes ever. I promise you that the next time someone comes on, oh wait, I have to think about this actually. This promise I have to think through, because next Friday is Dan Lewis, CEO of Convoy. And I was about to promise you I'd give the next person just as hard a time as I gave you. But he's already going to have a difficult episode, because so many people like that have known that I'm going to have him on have submitted questions to me about his business. But I promise that I will have fun with him. And
look, and to go back, right? They're raising the game. They're raising the stakes. They're making it better, right? Even if, who knows how well they'll do, who knows how well they'll succeed, but they're making us all be better. And I love the industry so much. I welcome it, right? Bring it. Yeah. And good luck to them. But
yeah, I mean, one of the major questions that keeps coming through for Dan, and I already told him that he's going to get this quite a few times, which is, are you doing something special, or are you just marketing it to be special to those who haven't been in the industry as long as we have? Either one is smart, but the people who watch my show are people who want to be better, and they're pretty freight intense. So they're going to want to know, no, for real, what are you doing behind the curtain? Like, tell us, give us insight into your product and your company. And is it the same thing that every other company has been doing, or is it something unique? So I think that's going to be cool. And I'm really excited about it. And then after that Friday, I'm going to have Dan Rice, who, I don't know if you are on Twitter, but he's a famous CEO that during COVID, he blew up with popularity because he, I think he took his salary down to zero. And he's a CEO out of Seattle. So not in our industry, but I think he'd be pretty cool. Probably has a similar mentality as you do when it comes to leadership, which is people first, which a lot of your people are already on here saying that you do that. So thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for being such a good sport with my questions.
Listen, I enjoyed it. And
no, he didn't. You guys, you send me a message. Just give me like, I hate you. You messed up my whole life. Okay, daughter from Charlotte. Thank you for, is it
Charleston?
Charleston. I'm a New Yorker, so that's the same. Charleston and Charlotte is the same location, same city. I'm a New Yorker. Daughter, Kevin misses you, and thank you for watching, and spend all his money.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed an internship with the beginning questions that she started, so.
Have a great weekend. Thank you very much, everybody. And everybody send Kevin messages. Thank him.